Today, I'm going to be talking through with you 7 things that I think you should know if you're a beginner at the guitar, or if you haven't even started playing yet and you're going to start playing soon. This is what you need to know. So first of all, any guitar will do. Now, it's important that you make the right choice when you decide whether or not you're playing acoustic guitar or electric guitar. But within either of those options, any guitar really will do. So if you've got a guitar lying around that was your dad's or your mum's, or it's more than likely that it'll do if it's the right type of instrument that you want to be learning. Obviously this doesn't apply if you've been wanting to learn, lead electric guitar lines and all you've got around is a classical guitar. Cheap guitars generally sound pretty good. This guitar I'm holding here is very, very cheap and it does still sound amazing. That's the blessing of guitars. However, what I would say is that people kind of slightly undervalue changing the strings, and it only costs about a £5 to get a new pair of strings, and it makes it sound and feel a lot better. Number 2. Learn with tabs. So tabs are very, very simple to understand, and that's a really good thing when you're a beginner guitar player, because there's a lot of things which take a lot of practice and a lot of trial and error to really understand, and when you just have your method of learning simplified, it really, really does help. And when you get a lot better and you're a lot more experienced, you can always change that up and test your skills by learning songs by ear. But for the meantime, when you're just starting out, I would recommend Tab. A website I personally recommend is called Ultimate Guitar. It's got everything you really need: chord diagrams, tabs, bass tabs, ukulele, and for some really popular songs they even have a personalised backing track where you can play along to it. Number 3, learn from music you love. So, what inspired me to buy my first electric guitar, which is this one here, was Guns N' Roses, Slash. I wanted to be Slash. And in fact, I think I kind of still do. It kept me very, very motivated, and I felt rewarded whenever I did have some success in playing, because there's a lot of really difficult skills that you need to learn. Your sense of rhythm, your technique, the fact that your hand just will ache for ages when you're playing, and all that kind of stuff. You need something to get you through it. So play music that you love, play bands and songs that you really love, and it will make you feel good when everything else is making you feel like you should give it up, but don't give up. Number 4, short, regular sessions. Now, if you had to play guitar for about 3 hours a week, it would be better to play 6 times a week for half an hour rather than 1.5 hours twice a week. And the reason for this is you do most of the learning at the start of your sessions when you have more energy. Another reason is that you process information that you've learned that day during your sleep. So if you have more nights where you've done a bit of learning, more information is going to sink in while you're sleeping than if you only did 2 nights a week. It's also more enjoyable, in my opinion. This worked perfectly for me. I played for a short amount of time, but daily, and it really kept me coming back to the instrument and just not getting fed up and burned out with it very often at all. Number 5, your fingers are supposed to hurt. Now, a lot of people tell me they can't play guitar because they have really small hands. Nobody's hands are naturally made for the guitar. Guitar, if you think about it, is playing it is a very unnatural thing. So you're going to go through a long period of it not being quite comfortable and your hands and your fingers hurting. Everybody goes through that. Don't get put off when your hands hurt and your fingers hurt and your brain hurts. That means you're learning and progressing, and that's what you want to do. You can't learn something new without adapting and changing to it. And this means, mentally being burned out with all the new things you have to think about. You're not going to be able to learn to play the instrument if your hands don't hurt and your fingers don't hurt. Eventually you'll get there. Number 6, grades don't matter. So main people who really care about grades are sort of teachers and parents. They look good on your CV, maybe? Do they? I don't know. However, if you start playing and that's not really your goal, and you start playing and you realise you want to get better technically and you really don't care about the theory stuff and all the chord knowledge, and that's when you know they're not for you, and that's totally fine. Number 7, consider a teacher. So if you can afford to hire a teacher, you should definitely not rule it out. You can learn the instrument by yourself, and YouTube can really, really help you out. Subscribe. But surprisingly, no video on YouTube can actually know you as a person and take into account, you know, your exact goals and the exact music you like and all of your flaws and what you're good at, and incorporate that into one sort of lesson plan. You can find information, you can find advice on YouTube and other places in the internet, but at the end of the day, a teacher is going to know you, and a good teacher is going to be able to adapt who you are into your lesson and your goals, what you want to get out of it, how you work, how you learn, all that kind of stuff a teacher can do, and online learning can't. As it happens, I teach the guitar and I teach the bass guitar, so if you are looking for lessons online, send me an email. Email will be on screen in the description. So get in contact with me if you are interested in all that good stuff. This has been 7 useful tips that I would give to a beginner guitar player, and leave a comment if you have any feedback for me, leave a like if you enjoyed the video, and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more sort of guitar and bass guitar related content.